What is project planning and scheduling? Project scheduling is one of the most important processes which combines time, tasks, resources, and costs in a project. Basically, work schedules are created by listing the activities, determining activity durations, and assigning activity relationships. Gantt charts, PERT charts, and CPM are the most common project planning and scheduling techniques and methods used for creating work schedules. Most common project planning and scheduling techniques. Gantt charts. Gantt charts are also known as bar charts. Activities are represented as bars and the length of each bar represents the activity duration. The beginning of the bar shows the start date and the end of the bar shows the end date of the activity. Depending on the project execution plan and resource availability, these bars may be sequential or run in parallel. Gantt charts are simple tools, therefore, project teams and stakeholders can easily understand the plan and manage their projects with the help of them. Gantt chart is the most frequently used scheduling technique because of its simplicity. However, without using software it is difficult to update activities, activity relationships, and manage changes as the project progresses. Everybody can create a Gantt chart and insert activities even with the help of a spreadsheet. Critical Path Method, CPM. The Critical Path Method is an advanced project scheduling technique that was developed in the late 1950s. Then it has been used for the scheduling of any type of projects including construction, aerospace and defense, software development, IT, etc. In this method, activities are linked to each other by using dependencies in a network diagram. These activity groups form paths. The critical path is the longest path of the project network diagram. In this method, activities are listed, activity durations are determined, dependencies between the activities are established and the longest path is identified by making forward and backward calculations. The critical path method is a visual technique that enables to show activities, activity dependencies, and durations in the same diagram. It is a common method for determining the completion date of a project. However, it is difficult to determine the critical path of a large and complex project without using the software. Employing software like Primavera P6 or Microsoft Project helps to analyze the critical path of a project, which may include thousands of activities and relationships. PERT Method. PERT Method is one of the most common project network scheduling techniques. PERT stands for Program Evaluation Review Technique. It was developed by the U.S. Navy in the late 1950s for ballistic missile program in order to find a simple system to manage and organize complex objectives and thousands of contractors. In this method, activities are listed, activity durations are determined by using three estimate techniques, dependencies between the activities are established and the longest path is identified by making forward and backward calculations. The three estimate techniques are most likely estimate, optimistic estimate, pessimistic estimate. Simply put, the most likely estimate refers to the most possible time required to complete the task. Optimistic estimate refers to the shortest time required to complete the task. Pessimistic estimate refers to the longest time required to complete the task. The expected time of the task is calculated by using these three estimates. In PERT method, project completion time relies on the calculation of the expected duration for each activity. The critical path method is used in conjunction with the PERT method. You can determine the critical path of the project by performing forward, backward calculations. However, PERT is a time-consuming method that requires software to implement. Project scheduling steps. The project schedule management process includes the following steps: defining, publishing, monitoring, and controlling. Below are the inputs of the project schedule management process: WBS, expert knowledge, project scope, project objectives, calendar information, milestones, deadlines, constraints, enterprise environmental factors, resource information. Defining the project schedule and scheduling technique. Defining the project schedule step begins with creating the work breakdown structure. At this step, you will also decide which scheduling technique will be used. A well-prepared WBS affects the quality of the whole schedule. Preparation of the activity lists comes after that. Project scope, design documents, and the stakeholders' requirements are analyzed and the activity lists are prepared considering all the project objectives. Publishing the project schedule. After creating the schedule, project teams, key project stakeholders, and beneficiary representatives come together to make negotiations. If they agree on the dates, milestones, and structure, the schedule will be approved, published, and stored as a baseline for monitoring and controlling purposes. As the project progresses, the project team updates the schedule by using the information coming from the activity reports. During this step, actual start dates, actual finish dates, and percent completion rates are inserted for each activity that has actuals. Sometimes remaining activity durations can be inserted instead of inserting percent completion rates. Monitoring and controlling the project schedule. Monitoring and controlling the project schedule aims at evaluating the current status of the project by making performance management calculations. Performance management calculations include the following: earned value analysis, schedule variance, cost variance. According to the reports, if the schedule is deviating from the original plan, the project manager and the team members decide to use schedule compression techniques to bring the schedule back to the original plan if possible. Sometimes delays do not affect the project's milestones. For example, an activity delayed 10 days compared with the actual plan, but if it is not on the critical path and does not affect anything, no action will be required.